Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel, episode 271. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Just back from some spring football interviews.
Let's go.
Wrote two spring football stories. Got the Chris Beard situation behind us.
You had a fun 24 hours.
It really was. I told people I never once was like, oh, God, he's leaving. I mean, we had a very quick, Chase and I did, very quick conversation about, all right, quickly, if he leaves, are there 5 people we're putting on a hot board? We came up with like 3 or 4. But there was at no point where I was like, we need to get a hot board together. I felt like it was a leverage play and that it would end the way that it ended. It was the risk of sounding like an arrogant jackass, which I very rarely do, I think. It was the advantage that you get from you pick media. You pick which media you follow. And if you pick nothing but fanboy rah-rah media, you're going to get fanboy rah-rah stuff. And when everything's great, you'll love it. But if you want real news, or if you want to be people who are at least trying to accurately inform you, you do want some level of objectivity. So,
Yeah, I told you. We can talk about it later on, but I do want to talk about it on the show today. But yeah, I guess we can talk about it later, but I was at the baseball game, was it Tuesday night? And one of the other parents listens to our show. Don't want to dox him, but listens to our show. And he works at Ole Miss. He's like, yeah, I think Chris Beard's going to go to Texas A&M. I was like, what? I was like, come on. And he's like, yeah, this Buzz Williams thing. I was like, I didn't even, I let it go. Like, I didn't even really think about it. And then I was busy. I told you I was really busy doing my deal. I was actually on the phone with Chase. I called Chase to talk to him about the stuff you like burning your matches about. And you call, and he's like, oh, Neal's calling. And I didn't hear anything from anybody else. And then I saw Twitter. I was like, oh, that was fun. I was like, I was out of the loop. So, yeah, it's fun times. Fun times. Yeah. Better you guys than me.
yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I've been through much more, like, we need to be totally ready for the other, and this was not one of those. I just had pretty decent sourcing on it. Felt like I knew where it was going. I know some people who cover Texas A&M who are good at what they do, and kind of compared some notes midday. I felt pretty confident about it. There was a couple of other sites that cover Texas A&M that went hard the other way. It was just their fandom.
It
was just never cheerleading. That's it. There's no other word for it. And
You're shocked, aren't you?
oh, we'll jump into it in a second.
Yeah,
because someone in the thread did the one, like, they're referencing something that one of the internet. I need to let Twitter just completely not be a part of my life anymore. I spend less time on it than I ever have, and I'm very rarely on it anymore. We'll talk about it a second.
Yeah.
There was people that do the labeling thing, and I guess it's an attempt to insult, but what it really is it's disrespectful, and so it's the only time I never fire back on anybody. But I fired back on that guy. I was just kind of like, you're wrong, and it would have been so simple, just a modicum of quick research, and you would have been like, well, no, maybe these guys are a little different, but they want to lump. Everybody wants to lump all media into one thing, and that's not possible.
It's turned into ready, fire, aim. You know what I mean? Ready, just write whatever, and then figure it out later if it's right or not.
Well, and just people,
I'll check my sources later.
The whole, and you see, I think it's a young thing. I think this is me getting old. The whole trash talk stuff, I just don't like it. I never have, but like now it's so prevalent.
Oh, it's bad.
And I don't get it. It doesn't do anything for me.
I didn't mind trash talking inside of a game. Like, to
yeah,
the
but
other
I'm
players.
talking about social media.
But I'm saying, like,
trash talk.
and here's the thing. It's like, I got pissed at, I got up, I know we got to start. I got up Tuesday. We played Hernando in baseball. Okay. They put us out in the playoffs last year. You're very familiar with your son in the Hernando-Oxford rivalry thing, right?
Yep.
So we're playing at Hernando, and had a group of students there, and the way the bleachers are, we don't have a lot of bleacher room there. And I got up before. I don't even know if I even watched a pitch from the stands. I got up and walked away because of the way the students just trashed. I don't know. I just, that bothers me. And I'm like, hey, assholes, you know that you got to play them again on Friday night, right? Like, this isn't the last Game 7 of the World Series where you don't have to see them for another 365 days. You got to play them Friday night, and then if they kick your ass, they're going to let you know about it. It's just, I don't know. The trash talk now is not even smart. It's dumb. So anyway, let's crank her up.
All right.
Let's do it.
Work. There it goes. Okay.
We good?
Welcome into episode 271 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That's Tyler Siskey here on this Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. Hope you're having a great near the close of your week. We're brought to you each and every show by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, going with the mango today. Little mango today. I haven't had it in a while. I've actually started rotating back to the oldies but the goodies. Mango, good one. The mango rainstorm in the house. Neal, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping. And remind everybody, go to Cooper Chevrolet. Do you need a truck? Do you need a truck? Go to Cooper Chevrolet. Check them out. They got 2.9 APR for 72 months, and you can save up to $14,000 off of MSRP. And like we said today, shout out. I saw another one. Cooper Chevrolet tags running all through Oxford, Mississippi. Saw that the other day. There's no telling else where they're at. But go check them out at Cooper Chevrolet, GMC Hyundai there, and give them a call at area code 256-236-4481. Neal, we're also brought to you by the official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey, County Line Campers. County Line Campers, located right there off I-10, exit 38 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Spring has already sprung and camping season is ready to go. If you missed the RV show, no big deal. The manufacturers and the finance companies have extended the spring RV show incentives through the entire month of April. That's right. So check them out. You can get a brand spanking new East to West Mercedes Diesel Class C motorhome now for only $87,995. If you're looking to sell your current RV, they buy back used RVs every single week. They offer the coast-only free consignment program. Located and operated, we pride ourselves in creating a customer experience that can't be duplicated. And don't forget the true reason for Easter. Make sure you go see our good friends at County Line Campers. I got to break that one up. That was that's a long reader, so I think I got it broken up where I can do two unique readers.
There you go.
During the show. Like, I'm starting to slowly become a pro at this thing. Starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself a pro, an advanced amateur.
That's about all I am too.
I'm an advanced amateur.
I don't know that I want to be a quote pro.
Yeah, I'm an advanced amateur.
It's like I was doing something yesterday where someone said, "What's your profession? What do you do?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like I had
a little bit this, a little bit that.
I had to describe it, and I was like, I don't know.
All right, let's crank her up. Neal, as you know me pretty well. I have people ask me, hey, who's your college team? Who are you a friend of? And I say, I'm really not a fan of anybody. I've been a hired mercenary for so long, I'm not a fan of anybody. Who's your NFL team? Well, I really don't have an NFL team. I kind of just pull from my former players or, buddies that are coaching at places. I really don't have a team. But let me tell you who I am a fan of.
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
I am a fan of the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to say it. I'm a fan of the Atlanta Braves. And I'm not one of these fair weather fans that just joined on the 90s hype train. I mean, I roll all the way back to Bruce Benedict, Gerald Perry, Rafael Ramirez, Ken Oberkfield, Dale Murphy, Bob Horner. We can go. I know that Glenn Hubbard, I can name the entire starting lineup from the early 80s.
I remember those guys. Caldell Washington.
Claudell Washington, that's a good one.
Rufino Linares.
I don't remember him.
Mm-hmm.
That must be pre my time.
Biff Pocoroba.
Nope. I'm a
Phil Necro, Gene Garber.
I'm a Rick Camp.
Rick Camp hit the home run in like the 17th inning.
Yes, it's beautiful. So my Braves yesterday, the Braves have going into the year, I think they had the third highest, or third, I guess, worst, highest, however you want to look at it, odds to win the World Series. They were one of the favorites, World Series favorites. And 7 games in yesterday, they rolled out a lineup that consisted of 4 guys you've heard of and 6 guys you haven't. 7 games into the season. They've had Profar. He's out with his PEDs. He's out for 80 games, which I didn't know this. I told somebody the other day, I was like, yesterday's years old when I learned this. Did you know that when you get suspended for PEDs, even though he can come back for the last half of the season, he's not eligible for postseason play?
I did not know that.
I was yesterday years old when I found that out. I mean, they're playing a bunch of dudes that are so down the line. They've traded for people that nobody else wants. And, Elder's been like, Elder had his 6 months of fame there in the run in 21, but he's kind of been on his own work. He's been getting.
Do you hear that sound? It's like a squeaking sound. Is that just me?
Yeah, it's just you.
Okay.
I don't hear anything.
All right.
And so, Elder, he threw yesterday. And so they went, they jumped out to a 5-0 lead and lost it when Shohei Ohtani, who's really good, went yard and walked it off in the ninth. So frustrating as a fan. 7 games into the season and over half your lineup, you don't even know who they are. Like from what was planned a week ago. You know what I mean? We're not talking about something that was planned months ago and they had injuries over the course of a season. I'm talking about a week ago. There's 60% brand new roster. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, I get it.
Of course, you've played 2 teams that haven't lost yet. The Padres haven't lost. The Dodgers haven't lost.
It's
Dodgers.
baseball, though.
Yeah, the Dodgers beat the Cubs for 2 in Japan, and then they swept somebody else.
Yeah, it's just.
I said this on Blue Sky Live this morning. You don't hear that? Okay, I'm losing my mind.
You got CTE over there?
It's possible. I think it's one of the problems baseball is going to have this season is there's so much lack of disparity, I guess you could call it, that I think a lot of fans are just going to check, unless you're just one of those people that just likes watching your team. If you need your team to be in the race, a lot of teams just aren't going to be in the race. And even teams that are in the race, they're going to look at
Can't do anything with it.
They're going to look at it realistically and go, we're not beating the Dodgers. We're not beating the Yankees or whatever. But the Dodgers is an issue in the National League. It's a problem, I think.
I appreciate Grind. I appreciate your optimism. He says they can still win 90 games.
Sure.
Somebody said, or they could lose 90.
Yeah.
It's rough. All right.
It's a little early to freak out. If they get to like 0 and,
but I get it now.
If they get to like 0 and 12, 0 and 15, somewhere in there, then you have reason.
Well, they got the Marlins coming this weekend. If they get swept by the Marlins, I think you can officially put the panic button in.
Then you'll know that it might be time to hit the panic button. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah. All right. Little football news. I thought I'm probably going to be the only one, but football fans maybe. Thought this was interesting. So Sacramento State has planned, they're applying for FBS status in football. And normally you just kind of turn your head and that another smaller team going into the group of 5, wasteland. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to go FBS in today's world. But here's the difference. Normally, I think that would be not a great idea. Sacramento State can fund it if they want to now. Sacramento State is one of these kind of like Liberty. Okay, if Sacramento State is committed to funding this thing, they can fund it, and they could be. I don't know, and they've been this program that from a coaching. And again, I'll know 90% of you grew up in the Southeast, and you really don't understand the whole map of football. Sacramento State was one of those jobs that everybody, like over my entire career, everybody's like, oh, thinks that they can go to that job and win. It's always that job. And it's just been one of these huge roller coaster jobs where, some coaches go 2-9 and then they win. Like 2 years ago, they won 12 games. And so, but they can fund this thing if they want to the point to where whatever happens with they're going to come in as an independent. And I think whatever happens with this Pac-12 deal, the Pac-12 tries to make a comeback, which is rumored out there. I think they're going to wait and see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But they would be a team I wouldn't be surprised that made a jump through the ranks pretty quick because they can fund it if they want to. I think it could be a good job for somebody, again, if it's funded properly.
All right.
Joe Milton, this happened like this afternoon or earlier. Joe Milton traded from the Patriots to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys got Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick in exchange for a 5th-round pick for Joe Milton from the Patriots to the Cowboys. It just, we'll start getting into more draft stuff as we go. But what this tells me is the Cowboys are probably going to be out of the quarterback market in the draft, particularly, unless, specifically early, because they'll have Dak and Joe Milton. So, don't see them. They were rumored before this move was to happen to be in line for quarterbacks, and so
we're thinking 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks in the first round. Sanders, Ward.
All right, I think Ward,
Dart, and maybe Tyler Schaus.
Yeah, I think Ward is the clear cut one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other people agree with me. I think that, in my opinion, I think Dart is the clear and cut 2, and I think 75% of the NFL people I talk to are in line with that.
Okay.
I think.
So is that a world where he moves into the top 10?
I think is high. I think you could see, and this is like a 9 would probably be as early as I would see him. I don't think he gets past the Steelers. I think 21. They're 21.
Yeah.
I think he'll go between 9 and 21.
Okay.
All right. Shedeur Sanders. I do not think Shedeur Sanders is a first-round pick. I've said it from the time I've said it. I have a lot of people that agree with me. I have some people that called me a hater. No, it's my opinion. I think he's got major critical flaws. I would not invest a first-round pick in him. I would spend a 2 or a 3 on him and put him behind somebody and develop him and see if you get something. But I would not waste a first-round pick on Shedeur Sanders. Quinn Ewers. For me, Quinn Ewers is probably the 3rd. I think Shedeur is the 4th quarterback for me. I think I would take Quinn Ewers before I took Shedeur. And people will call me a hater. You're a hater. But I also will tell you the same thing. I think Travis Hunter, before y'all start calling me a hater, I think Travis Hunter is, in my opinion, a generational talent, and I think he's deserving of the number 1 pick. Don't think that will probably happen, but I think between Abdul Carter, Cam Ward, and Travis Hunter, you're going to get picks 1 through 3 in some order. All right. Speaking of the NFL, the NFL's had their meetings, and that's where this trade got done. The big thing out of this meeting, I did want to. We almost talked about this the other day before they voted on it. They tabled the tush push until May to the next meetings. They kind of kicked the can down the road before they could make a ruling on the tush push. And I'm totally against this, by the way. So you're going to punish somebody that can do it better than you? Because when Philadelphia runs it, they're good. They get it done. When everybody else, they have they were like, I don't know, it's like 120 out of 140 or something doing it, some kind of high success rate. But how about just stopping it? How about stopping the play? We're going to take something away. We're going to change the rules because you don't like the way somebody's doing something.
What's the reason to stop the play? Because is there a claim that it's unsafe?
That's the claim, but that's not the claim. I mean, you're telling me we're talking about unsafe? The NFL's going to go into a safety thing. I mean, on a quarterback sneak. I mean, come on. I just, because the claim, I guess they're like, well, it's for us to stop it, we got to all get. Okay, so I'll get in there. It's football. We're getting so. I don't know, man. I just, and I'll say it. People get mad at me when I say this too. It's like, for me, it's like the helmet things, right? The Guardian caps. See, I'm against the Guardian caps unless you wear them in the games. I'm telling you, I'm not a doctor. I'm a firm believer, though. You're talking about full 10. I mean, you can call me 10 full hat, call me what you want to. I see this all too often, particularly in high schools. A lot of these high schools and younger players are practicing with a Guardian hat on.
Right.
They don't wear them in the game, and they get used to putting their head in danger. If you don't wear a Guardian at practice, you're not slamming your head in there because there's punishment if you do. And I think when players are used, and like the one that gets them a lot is the bouncing your head off the turf. Well, if you're wearing a Guardian cap, that kind of protects it, and you don't really work on. There is a reflex of when you hit the ground not to let your head hit the ground. There is, and when you see all these teams that practice with the Guardian caps but don't play with them, you see them have a higher. I swear, it's like teams have I've seen more concussions now, and then you turn around and go, "Do y'all practice with the Guardian hats?" We do, and I think there's something to it. But same kind of deal with this is like it's just stop the play. I don't believe in taking the play away from them. I think that's jacked up. All right, the other thing that you'll be excited about, probably didn't read it because you've been busy. You brought this up during our year this year. The regular season overtime is going to go to what the postseason overtime was.
Good, makes sense.
So you hate it. You said that in the fall. You said this makes no sense why you can.
It's dumb.
So they're matching that up so everybody gets a possession. And then
That's how they should do the college overtime too.
Full football?
Yes.
Yeah.
The college overtime is horrible. And now that they've gone to the third overtime, it's just a 2-point conversion play. You decide an entire game on a 2-point conversion play?
Yeah.
I hate that.
I don't
despise it.
I don't mind the first two college over. I don't like the 2-point play stuff, but what you're saying to me is the only solution to doing away with that.
Yes.
So I don't mind the put it on the 25 part. I just don't
kick the ball off.
Your part.
Everybody gets one possession. After everybody's had a possession, the first team to score wins.
Yeah.
Only way that's different is if on the first possession the defense scores.
Turnover on the score. Same NFL rules.
Then the game's over. Yeah. Yes.
And then the other, this will be interesting because this will happen. The kickoff, they're going to permanently take the new kickoff rule they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep it, but now the touchbacks, because some teams just said the hell with it. They were just kicking out of the back of the end zone.
Sure.
Now they're going to move it to the 35 if it's a touchback. So they think it's going to increase the touchback, the returns last year. They wanted to bring the return back. I understand why they did it. They wanted to bring the return back as a safer play. So returns went from 23% to 32% last year.
Yep.
And they're estimating, I don't know how they came up with this number, but they're estimating it will go from 32 between 60 and 70% of being returned. And if that's the case, then there's going to be like we talked about last year, a little bit a roster spot kind of dedicated to that position. If you're getting,
it's good money for kickers. Those kickers that can sky the ball into a certain spot. Yep.
And returners, you're going to bring the Dante Halls and the Devin Hesters back.
Right.
Because they kind of went away because of the roster constrictions.
Right.
So, all right. Gonna move on. I want to talk about this before we get to basketball. This is kind of my hand raised guy moment. And this is not a lot of match conversation, but I want to tip of the hat to coaches like Kirby Smart, who got me thinking about this the other day. Kirby had a great. If you haven't listened to Kirby Smart's press conference after, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday's practice. It's like 18 minutes. There's like small pieces in there that there's probably about 7 or 8 minutes of really good discussion there. You should go back and listen to it. But coaches like Kirby Smart, Gundy, Chris Kleiman at Kansas State. He came out and said some stuff yesterday. And then Lane's always been this way. So it's appreciated. I will say this. It's appreciated amongst the coaches that have, we call that equity. Mm-hmm. When you don't give a shit what you say, they're not going to get onto you kind of equity at your school. Saying the quiet part out loud. Kirby was asked about a lot of things. He was asked about, the rev share, the burning the matches stuff. He was asking all that. And it's really eye-opening. And it's some of the things, and we can sit here and we can say the same stuff they've been saying, and they can say the same stuff we've been saying, but obviously theirs carries a lot more weight. And they were talking about money and, talking about paying, players as this system has gone on, players that want to play at your school for money, players that are looking for the highest bid. And I've said this forever. You have to be motivated on things other than money. If you look at successful people, I don't believe you can find a truly successful person that the only thing that motivates them is money. Not saying they don't like money. Neal, I'll use you as an example, okay? Neal, do you like money?
Very much.
But that's not you. You care more about integrity and being the best at your profession and the competitive character that you have as being a journalist than you do about, I mean, I know it's important, but it's not the only driving force that you have. You love what you do.
Most of it. Yep.
I mean, you love your profession.
Most of it.
I know, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you put an emphasis on that. It doesn't matter.
I don't like a lot of things that have happened to it, but yes.
If you do things, if you're only motivated by money, you're never going to try to achieve greatness. You're going to try to achieve whatever it takes. Basically, we call it minimalism. You're going to try to achieve whatever it takes to continue to make that money, if that makes sense. And so, and he was talking, and he said it, and I've said it on here a bunch, but I have never in 25 years, I've never back in the day or whenever, if a player ever asked for money, okay? If a player said, how much am I going to get? If the player was the one asking the coach that, I have never, and this is the honest to God's truth, I have never seen one of those players turn out to be a good player. Not the first one. Now, you may have an aunt, an uncle, or a street agent or something like that, and you get it. But if the kid or young man comes into your office and the only thing he's worried about is how much money am I going to get paid? They have never, not one time, not the first person in 25 years has turned out to be a good player. Not the first one.
Yeah.
I'm going to I'll tell you a story. I guess the statute of limitations are over. I won't mention schools. I was on a staff that took over somewhere, and we came in, and for those that don't know, the early part of my career, really up until I got to Alabama, every job that I was ever associated with or getting or moving on, it was always a rebuild job. The previous coaching staff had done a terrible job. They got fired. It was like you're starting over from ground zero, and you're trying to build it up to become. That was kind of what our staff, and it wasn't just me. It was all the way back with Steve Roberts from Northwestern State to Arkansas State to Hugh Freeze to wherever, right? And so every time we took over at these places, it was always a rebuilding job. And I will never forget, we took over one of these jobs, and we started having spring practice. And we're about so this is took over the job like at the end of the year, like normal, like everybody else does. And it's like this time of year, and we're like 3 practices in or 4 practices in, and we're like, we suck, which is what you do everywhere I've ever been. You're like, we're so bad. I don't know how these guys ever won a game ever. Like, it's like unbelievable how bad you are when you get to places. You're like, oh my gosh, these guys are terrible. And there was one particular kid. He's a receiver, and I'm in with the head coach, and we're watching 7-on-7, and we're in his office, in the head coach's office. We're watching 7-on-7, and we get on the door. Well, it was one of the receivers. He's like, Coach, can I talk to you? And he was talking to the head coach. And I was like, hey, Coach, you need me to step out? He goes, no, it's your player. You can sit here, whatever. So I was like, okay, don't know what's about to be said. Don't know anything. He's like, Coach, I got a problem, man. I got a problem. I haven't been paid my monthly payment since y'all got here. Just dead silence. Mm-hmm. He looks at me. The head coach looks at me. I look at him. He's like, hey, we're watching film. Let's talk about this later. He walks out the door. He goes, shut the door. I don't know what's about to happen. He goes, can you believe? He looks at me and says, can you believe the nuts on that kid to come in here and say that?
Yeah. And
I looked at him and I said, fuck that. I said, can you believe somebody was paying his ass? This guy was terrible. And he was like a 4-star out of high school. Okay. Like recruited by everybody. This guy, I kid you not, I am not joking. This guy couldn't have cracked the rotation at St. Paul's Episcopal. Couldn't have cracked the rotation. This guy was so bad, he couldn't catch AIDS from a hooker. I mean, I'm talking about this guy was terrible, was slow as hell. I mean, stiff as a 3-dick dog. He could not do anything, couldn't play anything. And this dude tried to hit us up for, hey, I haven't received my money. And so, and then the coach started laughing. I said, can you believe somebody was paying that guy? Come long story short. So we was just like, hey, we let the guy go. We was like, hey, you got it. I'm sure if you're that popular, maybe you can call somebody else that was wanting to pay you out of high school. I'm sure they'll love to take you on. So he didn't last very long. So, but that happened. It's the world we live in. But no, I want to say here's the part. I want the fans to understand this. I'm sure there's going to be some things to talk about here shortly. There is a lot of frustration. I've been trying to figure out how I want to say this. I told you before the show, my life has been consumed with meetings probably for the last 2 or 3 weeks about what's coming next week with the House settlement, allegedly. And talking with schools, how, asking this and this, what do you think about this? I think fans need to be prepared. This is the best way I can put it. I think fans need to be prepared for either your team coming out looking like a bed of roses, or your team to come out looking like they don't know what the hell they're doing. Every team I've talked to is kind of doing different things, trying to manipulate the cap. Kirby talked about this, so I encourage you to go watch his press conference from after that. It was really good. People are trying, which we talked about last week, April 7th or the days after is a real date. People are trying to beat dates with collectives and things like that. But then if you do that, like, there's just gambles. And so where I get frustrated, and I don't get to vocalize it in as much as I need to, and where I get frustrated about this whole thing is I get frustrated in my job. So, for example, and I want you to understand why I get frustrated sometimes, is somebody will say, hey, we're planning on doing this. What do you think? I'm like, well, that's going to work great if Deloitte goes away and you're going to come out smell like a bed of roses if Deloitte is not enforceable, and you're going to come out this thing smelling great. And then this person goes, well, a totally different strategy goes, what do you think about this? Well, that's great if Deloitte is enforceable. It's like there's no, it should be an embarrassment. People should be fired that the lack of guidance and transparency communicated from the NCAA, who's supposed to be your governing body, to the athletic departments. Because let me tell you something, and this is the honest to God's truth. Look, football coaches, you've said it. It's a funny joke, okay? Y'all can make fun of us. Oh, y'all some dumbass dudes, right? Y'all not very smart, a bunch of dumbasses, okay? And you may be right. I can't write a fucking paper. My grammar's going to be bad. But let me tell you what, I'm a fucking rocket scientist when it comes to fucking football, just like the rest of them. We got our one fucking area that we're really fucking smart in, and compared to what everybody else knows, we're fucking rocket scientists. Can't fucking save your life. Hey, we call 911. Some of us can fix a flat tire, but that's about it. But we ain't going to be a doctor, not going to be a banker or a stock exchange guy. But when it comes to football, people are fucking smart and know what the fuck they're doing. And they plan things out, and they have strategies, and they execute them. And people go, man, that's pretty fucking smart. That's it. That's what we're good at. But the lack of communication and direction that's going from the NCAA to the athletic departments is embarrassing. People don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, and it's coming next week. And they don't, like, well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? We have to plan. You got basketball going. You got to pay people. What do you mean you don't know? And so it's a complete shit show. And that's why coaches are frustrated, because we do like to fucking plan. We do. We like to have strategies and shit so we can build your team and make your team popular and win and shit. But you can't do it without fucking direction of, and again, like I said the other day, coaches don't care what the rules are. Just fucking make them, and we can go figure out how to work within the rules. It's just, it's frustrating, man. And it's frustrating the shit out of me, because in my fucking job, I'm like, yep, it could be good. Well, what do you mean it could be good? Well, oh, yeah. And I'll hit you on one today. This is the one match you can burn today. It's going to be real short. You know how we talk about Deloitte and that if you're
the only thing I'm going to interrupt and say is I'm not one to defend the NCAA, but the NCAA has been completely declawed. Okay, so they have no enforceability. And so I don't know how we all of a sudden
nobody does.
We expect the NCAA, which is why I think that all these conversations are ridiculous. Not your fault. I get it. We've spent 5 years stripping the NCAA of all of its power, and now we're like, hey, can you guys give us some advice here? No one's going to follow it anyway. The match is out of the box and it's burned. And once it's burned, you don't put it back in and strike it again. It's over. They're not going to suddenly control salaries and all this stuff. It's over.
I'm with you, but now it's federally backed. That's the problem.
But it's not.
I mean, the House versus the NCAA is a federal court case.
It is with a settlement that has yet to be challenged. And once it's challenged, everyone agrees it's going to be overturned.
Agree 1,000%. How long does that take?
I mean, I don't know.
Through the football season, now you got to figure out how to pay people this fall. That's the problem.
One judge to issue an injunction.
And we're all for it, but again, it's like we got a plan. You got to pay people now. You don't, or whenever it is, you can't just like, oh, I hope you turn it over sometime by 26, which again goes back to some people's doing this crazy strategy to where they're banking on it. But
there might be one program in the SEC right now, football, that's planning to fund its entire NIL operation through rev share. Maybe one.
Well, I don't think any of them are, but they're front loading it.
I understand that. I'm saying moving forward, that anticipates, okay, well, here we're going to have this rev share. They're all planning to usurp the spirit of the rule, come up with ways to create more funding.
Well, that's how they're manipulating. When you hear cap manipulation, that's because the people are front loading. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but I'm talking about even past that. In a world where
that's what their problem is.
In a world where Deloitte held, it's not going to hold. So I don't know why we're talking about it. In a world where it held, you're not going to get schools to go, well, our payroll total used to be about 30 million. Now we're going to cut it back down to 16 because that's not happening.
Well, Kirby Smart talked exactly about that situation.
What did he say? I didn't listen.
He said people are going to be fucked. Basically, he didn't say fucked. I apologize.
What did he say?
He said the whole bubble's going to burst because this year when you're manipulating the cap, okay, and when the cap goes, if the Deloitte thing happened, he said it just like if it happens, then you're going to have people that are going to have to go back and say, hey, I know you made $1 million last year. This year you got to make 500. He said people that are front loading are going to be in trouble, which is what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But Kirby said the exact same thing. But this is the match burning part that I asked a question and I was like, this is where I get frustrated. I got to go quick so you don't burn your finger. I'm going to have it done before you finish burning your finger. If your money gets thrown out by Deloitte, that money comes off the rev share, right? That's the penalty. But I said, hey, what happens if you've already spent all your rev share money? And I got, I don't know. All right, I'm done. That's it. I did it.
I don't know is a good answer. I respect I don't know as an answer.
Yeah, but when I've gotten 23 I don't knows in the last 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is what happens when you overcorrect. The summer of 2020 rolled around and everybody went nuts. And everybody was like, oh, boy, we got to do this. Okay, great. Okay, you're right. Probably ought to do that. But maybe we ought to have a plan. No, we just got to do it. Oh, and then let's do this no penalty transfer portal thing. And as soon as it happened, I know somebody who was like, that's not going to limit it to 1. And they said, okay, you get 2. And I said, I bet they don't limit it to 2. And here we are.
Yeah. No.
This is, if you made the NFL.
Give me a match.
If you made the NFL at the end of every year, unlimited free agency and no salary cap, it would be a giant disaster. So here we are. Yet, and this is the part that I keep saying out loud, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm starting to think I'm not wrong about being wrong. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I think I'm wrong. I don't think the fans care. I think the fans love it so much that it just doesn't matter. I think it's impenetrable. I think people love their alma maters so much that there's nothing you can do to turn people off. Unlike pro sports where people would go, I cheer for this. I don't really care that much. So if you're going to make this a complete, we're at the end of every season. If at the end of the year, right, I've cheered for the Thunder all year long. I've cheered for them for a long time, but you get my point.
Yeah, I do.
If at the end of the year, everybody on the team could just go play for the Clippers and the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, I don't know that I'd be as engaged in it. And then next year when it's a completely different group, I'd be like, nah, I'm out. But I'm the anomaly. I went to 3 schools. I care nothing about any of them on any personal level. I shouldn't admit that out loud. It's not good for business, but it's true, and it makes me this unicorn that looks at this and goes, wow, I'm shocked you guys are so into this. Literally today, I interviewed 2 guys. I interviewed Sage Ryan, who couldn't have been more charming. Former LSU DBs at Ole Miss now. And I'm like, you've played against Ole Miss 4 times. Is it kind of weird in practice? And he's like, yeah, it is kind of weird. It is, whatever. It was good.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to myself, but Sage Ryan could be the old school. He played at one school for 4 years, went to grad school at a new school, played 1 year, done. Happened to be in the same league. You're going to get guys now, like in basketball, guy played at UCF, and then he played at Texas, and then he played at Villanova, and then I don't know how that's attractive. I'll be honest. As a fan, as a consumer, I wouldn't find that attractive.
I live in a household that experimented because my kids are Ole Miss fans, right?
Yeah.
And we go to a lot of basketball games. And so seeing how long it took for my kids to recognize the basketball players. And they feel like they just talked about it. I will be interested this next year because they just got to where, literally in January, knowing who Sean Padula was. You know what I mean? Half the year you spend figuring out who they are. All right, I want to ask you a question that is on this topic because you got a pulse on it. I meant to ask you this the other day. Do you feel that with schools, you saw what Ole Miss did with the Grove, trying to monetize the Grove, and you see what Tennessee's doing with basketball, adding the luxury tax, whatever you want to call it, the skill tax, whatever we'll call it. Do you feel that if schools went more that way, as opposed to hitting them up for their Grove collection dollars, if they started trying to generate money that way instead of that, would that put away with fan apathy, or would it add to it?
Say that again.
So instead of hitting you up every 5 minutes and having a Grove Collective, donate here, here's our QR code. Instead of saying, hey, we're just going to increase our football tickets 10%. So instead of a $60 ticket, it's a $66 ticket or whatever it is.
Yeah. So Tennessee did. I thought it was smart.
Yeah. Do you think that will calm down fan apathy? Because fans are tired of the constantly giving money. Do you think that they kind of
because they're still gonna hit them up. They're still gonna hit them up. That's the proven part. You see this I've been talking about this for weeks now. When I went to the SEC tournament in Nashville, I talked to people at multiple schools, and they were all saying the same thing. What it took to build a roster the season that's about to end on Monday won't build the same roster this next year. It's not cost of living inflation, it's inflation. And so the coaches know that, and now they're asking for more. So you needed 5, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically, although this sounds awfully Ole Miss specific, and I'm sorry. I realized as I started that it did. But screw it, let's go there. Ole Miss's the roster they just took to the Sweet 16 was around $5 million, according to everybody who knows.
Yeah, I don't, for the record.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I believe the people who say it.
Yeah.
Well, he obviously asked for more, he being Chris Beard. Got it. Otherwise, he'd be in College Station today doing the...
Good day, Big Chris. Chris, good day, boss. Happy April 3rd.
So let's... I have no idea what it is, but let's just take a stat. Let's go from 5 to 7.5.
Okay.
Stands to reason next year's going to need more than 7.5. There's never going to be a point where you go, okay, well, that's enough. That's human nature. There's never going to be a point. So at some point, it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And I keep waiting for the fan to hit the breaking point where the fan goes, look, I can't. I'm stunned at people. I know how much money I make. I've been blessed. I've worked hard. I've caught some breaks. I've done well. I know what my taxes are these next couple of weeks. And if somebody called me and went, hey, from ULM, no joke, I'm totally serious.
Vincent, don't call.
Yeah, don't. And said, hey, listen, we're really trying to keep up here in the Sun Belt. I was wondering if you might help us pay for this one football player to come here and play one season. He played last year at Southern Miss. We're trying to get him to our place to play one season. I'd say, are you out of your effing mind? I mean, kick the biggest rock you can kick. But I'm in the minority. There are other people that very clearly go, yes, I will find a way to dig deep. And then you have the big money people that are like, yeah, this means that much to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's more money. And there's ego involved and all that stuff. It's wild. It's why I don't think the whole Deloitte thing has one chance in hell of holding up. Because I don't think human nature is going to allow it to hold up. And there's no entity. Are you telling me the NCAA is going to come down right now with the hammer on somebody? Who? Who precisely at the NCAA specifically is going to come down and drop the hammer?
No one knows. I asked that question too.
Because there isn't one. So no one's, I mean, all these coaches, and I get their frustration, but my answer to them, if I were in the room, is just do it. Just do it. You're going to do it anyway. Just do it.
And before people start talking about under the table money, you can't launder that type of money.
No one's laundering $5 million. I mean, well, the Biden do, but I mean, nobody else does. I mean, government does, Congress does, but
TikTok's still here.
Individuals don't launder. I said this the other day. There's a difference between $5,000 in tins in a shoebox and $5 million. Okay, there's a big difference. They're gonna find corporations who are insane enough to put something into something that has no return on investment at all. None. Like, for example, like Tyson Foods. Okay, Tyson gave an absolute fortune to Arkansas basketball. They made the Sweet 16. Are you telling me intellectually that meant more people all over the country, not just in Arkansas? Mm-hmm. Tyson's like a big company.
It is.
I mean, I would get it if Tyson was just based in Northwest Arkansas,
big
right?
Company.
But Tyson's like everywhere, Florida, California, and all points in between. Are you telling me there are people that, hey, I'm buying more Tyson because the Hogs made the Sweet 16?
I mean, I bought my Razorback Nuggets for
No,
months.
I'm totally serious for a minute. No. There's no return on investment. It is an emotional buy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sugar rush. But everyone keeps doing it. And these are smart people who've made a lot of money. I don't know if you've noticed, but Tyson, like, they've done pretty well.
Bought some last night.
And they just keep, I mean, I'm not picking on anybody here, but like Realtree's not selling more camo all over the country because Jackson Dart wore it when he killed the duck or the turkey, whatever.
Big ass duck.
It's a big ass turkey. But you know what I mean? It's emotional. It's the part of it's why my advice to Kirby and them is, look, man, all these people, they're addicted to it. You're good. Just keep giving them the drug. Keep giving them the drug.
I understand.
Don't worry about it.
I understand that's easy for you to say. I do. But there's a but. There's a but with a big ass comma.
Yeah, maybe so.
And like, that's my whole deal is, like, Neal, I wouldn't care if whatever the rules were, right? I don't care. But it's the fact that it's time to spend the money. Okay. I guess it's time. It's time basketball is trying to spend money right now. All right, it's time. It's time to go.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. If I spend this NIL money, are you going to punish me or not? If I do this, are you going to punish me or not? But like the NCAA, it's like Gundy. Gundy said it. That's why I gave him credit over there. Gundy, they asked him they were trying to do that spring game deal, and the NCAA came down and overruled it. He goes, we should do it anyway. What the hell are they going to do?
He's right.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay.
He's right.
It's going to take, I guess, somebody's going to have to do it, though. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's going to say, like, It's going to be us. Georgia, Kirby, it's going to be us.
Oh,
We're paying.
Oklahoma State,
and
Colorado.
you got to look and see if anybody's swinging at you. And if nobody swings, then everybody's going to do it.
Oklahoma State and Colorado ought to do it. I can remember a year ago when Lane Kiffin said, we're not going to do the spring game. We're going to do hot dogs and stuff. Everybody was like, oh, my God, it's going to backfire. No, it didn't. Now everybody's doing
Nobody
it.
cares.
I mean, just do what you want to do. There's no one that's going to enforce it. I don't know about you.
Talk to me.
But I like keeping my money where I see it.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, traditional.
Not in the ULM fund.
No, I gave them $20 once. I have 3 alma maters. I've given them all 3 a grand total of $20. Got me a T-shirt once. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
gave $20 to the ULM.
We know a guy. We know a couple guys. We could probably get you some ULM gear. We know a couple guys. We don't know just the head coach. We know the AD too.
Yeah, I don't think the AD likes me very much. The head
really?
coach, yeah, the head coach does.
He likes everybody. Hartwell?
Yeah.
That's my guy.
I like John. I don't think John's crazy about me.
What did you do?
We can't talk about it here. I didn't do anything. I think he believes I did something.
Oh, I love Hartwell. He's a good people.
No, he's a good dude.
Can I give a little shout out to Hartwell before you read this ad? Hartwell, first person when I got fired at Ole Miss, the first person, he was at Utah State at the time, the first person to reach out to me.
Is that right?
Yep. Shout out to John Hartwell.
Anyway, I'll say this. Like I was saying, unfortunately, traditional big wireless carriers also seem to like keeping my money too. After years of overpaying for wireless, I finally got fed up from crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks that actually cost more in the long run, and I switched to Mint Mobile. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payments of $45 for 3-month gigabyte plan required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price options available, taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
I didn't hear you. Something's wrong with my microphone. Can you repeat that?
Mint Mobile for details.
All right, I got to focus. Neal, in case you need a ride to go get your Mint Mobile, go by see my guy Trav at Kia of Meridian. Big savings are happening right now at Kia of Meridian. You can get $10,000 in rebates and 0% financing on select vehicles. Plus, for a limited time, we're matching your down payment up to $2,500. That means more car for your money all month long. Don't wait. These deals won't last. Visit Kia Meridian today. Kia Meridian, where the great deals drive home with you. Give them a call at area code 601-483-6444. And check this out, Neal. When you go and purchase a brand new vehicle or used, from my guy Trav and all the great folks down at Kia of Meridian, you'll get to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and hell, even a Mint Mobile telephone. You never know. Oh, and a hat. How about this? My man Trav sent me a hat. What do you think about that?
It's a good looking hat.
How about that?
It is.
How about that hat right there? Little camo Kia Meridian hat. Appreciate you there.
Good looking.
Trav. Make sure you check them out at Kia Meridian. And we're also brought to you by, that's right, County Line Campers right there. Open 7 days a week. Exit 38 right off I-10 in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Gulfport, Mississippi.
They had their big spring RV show, but no worries, because the manufacturers and finance companies have extended the spring RV show through the entire month of April. Rob and all the guys down at, and Rob and Miss Destiny down at County Line Campers went down there and saw them. They checked us out. So it was really cool. I didn't realize they have seasons. It is the start. They're on fire right now. Now's the time. If you're going to get an RV, now's the time to go do it. You can get a brand new prime time cruiser rear living fifth wheel now for only $32,995. And check this out. This was my favorite part. So we know it's locally owned and operated by Rob and Miss Destiny, but check this out. They have, you saw my hat. I wear my hat all the time. Here we go. Carolina Campers hat's right there.
Yep.
But they have the bunnies are their mascot, right? And they have 2 live bunnies. They used to rescue bunnies. So he wanted me to remind everybody that just because it's Easter, be careful. Do your research before you make a commitment to the Easter bunnies. They used to rescue them. He said they had like 70 at one time. People getting kids Easter bunnies for Easter.
Yeah, no.
And then just throwing them outside the road. They used to go rescue them. So their 2 bunnies that are in the store are rescues.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
And also remember what the true reason for the season of Easter. So when you think about camping, think about County Line Campers, and take care and go see our good friends Rob and Destiny down at County Line Campers. All right, a little basketball, then we'll get out of here today. Chris Beard, I know you probably heard about this. I don't know if you saw this or not.
What happened?
Chris Beard is staying at Ole Miss, not going to Texas A&M.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm just a message board moderator. I don't know these things.
I didn't know if you heard about it. He's not going to Texas A&M, and like I told you when we were doing a pre-show, so I don't know if it's on the audio file or not, but we talked about it a little bit on pre-show. Like, I was really unaware. I didn't really think it was a. Now that you said it was a leverage play, and then I've talked to you afterwards, I 100% agree. Here's the thing. I think when it comes to coaching searches, and I know Ole Miss fans don't have a long history with this. Look, it's a good thing. When your coach is being pursued by other things, that means your team is doing well. And as long as Chris Beard is here, and as long as Lane Kiffin is here, and they're doing well, there's always going to be rumors. So there's always going to be opportunities, things like that. But a coach's mindset, I think it's important to remind the fans that coaches aren't fans, and their mindset is completely different than what a fan would be in that same situation. So, this is contrary to popular belief, but coaches would like to get somewhere and stay somewhere. But you always know kind of what your equity is at the place and how much you are loved. One of our favorite coaches here at McCready and Siskey is Tommy Tuberville, and he was really good at knowing what he used to say when the posse's out to get him, he would leave before the posse could come get him. And you see what Buzz Williams has done. I saw a thing about Buzz Williams and going to Maryland. Like, he's never stayed anywhere longer than 6 years, and being somewhere and doing this for a living. And especially being a part of staffs that take over places that have not been doing well. Fans, after you go and have that first, what I would call successful run, fans quickly forget where the place was when you got there. You know what I mean? Like, yep. They kind of reestablish new, and so you're always you're raising the bar, and your expectations are there. And if you fall below expectations at one time, now your equity's gone, and they're going to be ready to run you out of there. And so, when it comes to Chris Beard, I think from this standpoint, I think I've met him one time. I met him one time, very casually somewhere. But I love watching his team play. I love the way he coaches. I like his intensity, the whole deal. I think from a coach's standpoint, he's got more equity here than he could ever have. So it's almost like he's in year one of something. He was able to get a new deal to kind of reset the clock a little bit. But I also think with Ole Miss giving him a chance when nobody else would, I think from a coach's standpoint, that means a lot. Like, you're not ever a fan of a place, but if you ever get somewhere where they love you back, man, that's worth a lot. That's worth its weight in gold. So he was able to leverage it and get stuff and get what he wanted. But I do think that probably played a massive. And look, you can say what you want to, Keith. I don't care if you like him or dislike him, whatever. I think Keith's done a great job. And Glenn Boyce has done a great job in the athletics part of this.
Yep.
The commitment to athletics per sources is in a whole different stratosphere than it was even when I was here.
No question.
And that comes from the extremely top, like the guy that has the house on campus, top.
Yeah, I mean, they switched from a bad chancellor who
Yeah.
had no people skills to a pretty good chancellor who has very, very good people skills. They switched from one who didn't really understand athletics and was just more about himself to one who understands, or at least believes, I should say. And I don't mean this. I mean this as a compliment towards boys. I'm pointing out that some people out there don't necessarily think that athletics and academics correlate. I do, but I'm not.
Oh,
my point is this.
Well, look at Colorado.
Glenn Boyce believes that there is a correlation between being successful in athletics and I say this. I've never met Glenn Boyce in person. I don't. But I know people who have. Only Chase has talked to him numerous times. I don't think I ever have. He absolutely has a different approach to athletics and people than his predecessor. Jeffrey Vitter would not have been able to pull this off.
It's just
the last couple of times.
I mean, this is per sources, of course. When you're trying to go fly somewhere to go get a recruit, and you need to get in a house like that day, and you need to borrow the school plane, but you can't borrow the school plane because somebody's on a shopping trip in Nashville, or they're using the plane to go pick up a painting
in
and bring it back.
Yeah,
that's frustrating. Makes your job difficult.
Yeah,
the more you know. The more you know.
You
per
know,
sources. That makes, if you're trying to recruit somebody.
I could tell some stories.
If you're trying to recruit somebody.
But it was part of my severance agreement was that I would not go into specifics.
Guess who gets shit when you don't get the recruit, though?
Well, the coaching staff.
Yeah, I'm just saying, when you're trying to go do well for the university and you can't do it, like, hey, we need a ride to go real quick to go get there.
You always talk about your statute of limitations. My statute of limitations was forever, and so I've tried really hard. And it's been a few times that I have probably said a little too much, but for the most part, for the overwhelming most part, I have lived up to the terms of the severance agreement.
Neal, I have been. Do you know how many? You do know. Do you know how many bullets I've taken and troll jobs I've taken, and I could have just flipped a freaking script and everybody go, oh,
yeah, no, and
I've been a good soldier.
You've bit the tongue.
I swallowed it.
Yeah.
No diddy.
I did. I've had to do the same thing a few times.
I've cut it off.
I've had to do the same thing a few times. But for the most part, for me, I think we have finally, all these years later, gotten to the sweet spot where it's all good. Like, I still live up to the severance agreement. But there's a much better existence now.
It's and especially, you know where.
But I have a lot of respect. In all seriousness, I mean, I don't have any ties to the university anymore, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for the job that Keith Carter and Glenn Boyce have done in hiring Lane Kiffin, retaining Lane Kiffin, hiring Chris Beard, retaining Chris Beard. Because look, Chris Beard had the ultimate leverage yesterday. I told Carson this, my son.
Good lesson in life.
This is a life lesson. Here's life advice.
Hey.
Life advice.
Tee it up for my guy.
Life advice presented by Cole Walters, State Farm Insurance. Cole is licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, and pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. Contact Cole at 706-525-7850. You can also find him online at colewaltersinsurance.com. So whenever, as professionally, you are offered another job, you have a decision to make about that job. It is this a job I would take? And the answer to that is yes or no. There's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I would not is this a job that I want? Is this a job I would take? And the answer is either yes or it's no. And if the answer is no, you don't really have leverage.
Correct.
If the answer is yes, you've got a ton of leverage. Second question, should I use that leverage? Abso-damn-lutely. Because it's a company at the end of the day. I know people love universities and alma maters and stuff like that. I get it. You love it more than life itself. It does not love you back.
Ever, per sources.
It will never love you back professionally. Trust me. It will never.
Trust me.
It will never love you back. So if you're working for a company, the company doesn't love you back. I die tomorrow. Dude, Yahoo.
I'm getting together.
Yahoo. Let me tell you who won't care. Yahoo. Not 1 minute.
I will. We're gonna have a. We're gonna. Me and Laura.
I didn't say you.
Me, Laura, and Carson.
Laura would
And the
care.
girls.
Laura would care. The girls would care. Carson would care.
Aka would care.
Aka would care.
Mom and Dad.
My parents would care. Yahoo would not care. I mean, somebody at Yahoo might get wind of it and go, I guess we should send a fruit basket. Maybe. Does anybody know where we can get the cheapest fruit basket?
What if they sent some masks?
They might send some masks, just, for the service.
Mint Mobile.
Because you don't want to catch anything. I mean, keep your distance. Can you believe, man, in the summer of 2020, a mourning widow at her husband's funeral was not allowed to be comforted by her sons. Can you that wild? Anyway.
By the way, I tell people all the time, I said, if you won't ever see me get Neal, I know how to get Neal riled up real quick. I just got to say one word.
Yep. Just say the word. Starts with the C, ends with the D.
Although rev shares starting to come with the ranking pretty quick.
Yeah, it's fast.
Go ahead, sorry.
My mother called the other day and goes, what is Deloitte? And I was like, I'll answer. Give me 2 days. No, I didn't. I did answer, though. What was I saying? I don't even know.
You were talking about Yahoo not caring.
Yeah, nobody would care. So your leverage.
Leverage.
If you're willing to take the other job, you have all the leverage in the world. You should absolutely use it. Guilt-free.
Have I told the story how I got leverage?
Hold on. So Chris Beard yesterday had leverage. My opinion, 2 things. Informed is that he wanted to stay at Ole Miss, but he was willing to go to Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So he had all the leverage in the world. And so the people are like, oh, he did it again this year. And I hadn't heard much of that, but a little bit of that. He did it again this year. Well, why not? And if he has leverage again next year, he should use it again because you're in a competitive world. You're in a competitive world where you're trying to push the people that are that are your employers, your fans, your boosters, your whatever, to give you the resources to compete at the highest level. Because that guy is motivated by one thing, and it's not money. He is only motivated by one thing, winning. And so was he willing to go to A&M? Yes. So he had all the leverage. He used it. Now, I gathered over the course of the day, early in the day, and even the night before, that it was pretty much a leverage play. And again, I don't mean that in a negative connotation. You got leverage, you use it. But one of the things that was wild for me yesterday to watch, this is my field. I'll be quick because nobody cares.
I'll show you. So what you want.
There was a guy on X coaching. What's it called? I had it up just then.
It's
coaching changes, and he took a shot at us because he's like, a couple of message board moderators. When you lump any and all people of any category into one thing, you're the idiot. My guy. 33,500 followers, though. This was wrong. I mean, 33,500 people follow this guy. All you had to do was a little bit of research into us, and that you would have gathered. Oh, these guys are pretty calm. These guys they don't cover Ole Miss like a bunch of fans. Done a little bit of research, and you'd have found that one of us isn't a fan at all. And one of us is known as being pretty good in coaching circles. And to Chase's credit, he kind of dominated that story yesterday. I mean, Chase is incredibly connected to Beard's people. We got it right.
I knew when Chase got involved, I was like, yeah, y'all probably shouldn't have questioned that one because I know I have a. You can give me 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. I bet I know who he talked to.
We talked to multiple people. And then I talked to people in College Station. I had contacts in College Station.
Yeah.
We knew the score. Had you just done a little bit of research into us, you would have been like, oh, but no, you didn't want to do that because you want to lump everybody into being message board moderators. I always love that. All you do is moderate a message board. No, that's not all I do. That's the dumbest. I don't know. And I shouldn't let that bother me, but sometimes you just want to push back. And So that's the only reason
I don't ever do that.
It's the only reason I fired back on the guy. I never really fire back that much, but I kind of did on that because
It's fun, isn't it?
you just know, but you're just insulting. You're insulting for the sake of insulting. I mean, you, on the other hand, hide behind an anonymous X handle, a place for CBB industry insiders to share info and speculate, especially during coaching carousel season. Oh, I bet there's so many industry insiders that are feeding you with information. Give me a break. But we got it right. And once we got it right, all he had to do was go, oops, my bad. Sorry.
No, they'll never do that.
Mm-mm.
Never. Hell freeze over. I got leverage one time when I was in the car. I was driving. We were out recruiting. And the head coach was in the car with me. And somebody called me on the Bluetooth and said, hey, you by yourself? I was like, yeah. Offered me a job with money right in front of the head coach. So I didn't have to do a whole lot of leverage. Contract kind of. I'll tell you that story.
No.
Yeah. I was driving with the head coach recruiting, and a coach called me, and he's a buddy of mine, but he's a head coach.
Yep.
Still is a head coach. And called me and said, hey, this guy is leaving. I want you here. Let's do it 3 years for this amount, which was about $140,000 more a year than what I was making.
Oh,
the current place. I got a raise in 2 weeks.
I bet.
I didn't do anything. I didn't say, but it made it awkward.
I bet.
Sitting next to my boss.
I bet Coach Saban didn't like that at all.
No, it wasn't Coach Saban. Wasn't Coach Saban.
Freeze got you a boss, a raise?
Hey, no, it wasn't Coach Saban. We're just gonna leave it there because you're gonna go through my whole roster and I'll be saying no. It was not Coach Saban though.
Yeah, it was Freeze.
Coach is great. Coach is great. I'll tell you that we gotta go. We gotta move on. The greatest thing with Coach Saban to this day, the most important. Like you don't sometimes when you talk to him, you're like, there's no way he's listening to what I'm saying right now. Okay,
Yeah,
like none. When Coach Saban and I discussed what it would take for me to leave Ole Miss to go to Alabama, he looked me. We're sitting this far apart from each other. He looked at me dead in the eye, and I just rattled off things: money, golf, car, travel. Blah, blah, blah. This dude looked me dead in the eye, and I'm like, there ain't no way he's gonna remember that. It's like, I mean, he's not writing it down. There's nobody in here writing it down. I said, I don't think anybody. Maybe somebody's recording this. I don't know. The guy looked me dead in the eye. He's like, okay. And that was really the last discussion we had about it.
mm-hmm.
The day I showed up in Tuscaloosa, it was very odd. I went straight to my office, and it was freshly painted, and it was just a blank desk. And I had an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding,
Mm-hmm.
before you have your contract. So here's what I had. I had 3 sheets of paper. I had 3 sheets of paper, just like this, sitting in front of my desk, like right, and a pen. And I come and sit down. I'm like, what is this? It was an MOU. And 2, in the order we discussed them, they list things that are going to be in the order we discussed them in a 7-minute conversation. In the order, I was like, holy shit. Like, I couldn't even remember what I told because I was just throwing out shit. I was like, how about, I had leverage because I had a job.
Yeah.
And so they were in order. Boom, boom. The next one was an NDA. and the next one was my Nike contract. Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, this is for those of you wanting out of corporate America, looking for your next business venture. If you're interested in learning about buying a business or a franchise, Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member. He's a diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He'll work with you to help you find a franchise or business that fits your goals. Listen, I know Andy. Dealt with Andy for a long time. Had a couple beers with him several times. Great guy. He'll take great care of you. He loves his job. He loves helping people. He loves getting to know people. Just call him. You'll learn about his process, his services. They're 100% free. It's a no-brainer for those of you wanting to get into business ownership. And by the way, Andy's a big college baseball fan. Someone in the thread said Ole Miss, Kentucky's been rained out today, doubleheader tomorrow. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you're a Kentucky fan, you want Andy to donate to your favorite team's baseball NIL, he'll do it.
Better hurry.
Yeah. Jeez.
Sorry. Couldn't help myself.
Call him. He's a great guy. Ton of business experience to lean on through the process. It's Andy Ludicky. Andy at myperfectfranchise.net. 404-973-9901. We're also brought to you by Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country right there in Broussard, Louisiana. Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it quite well. They got the Dr. Juice, Ghost in the Machine, Envy, Canebrake, so much more. Wherever you look for beer, restaurants, grocery store, at the bar, ask for Parish. You'll be glad you did. And we are also brought to you by our friends at Easy. Easy is a vitamin-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative. It's a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural. It's made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calorie. It's gluten-free. 1 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of vitamins. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare, control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit Easy. I'm going to put it in the stream.
I like it.
It's easy. Co.com. That's HEM.co.com. To view the Easy Finder, to find Easy near you, it's Farm Bill compliant with vitamins derived from THC CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly.
Neal, we're also brought to you by our good friends where? I see Trav jumped over here to TikTok. Hey, Kia of Meridian. That's right, Neal. Kia of Meridian. Big savings are happening right now at Kia Meridian. You can get $10,000 in rebates and 0% financing on select vehicles. Plus, for a limited time, we're matching your down payment up to $2,500. That means more car for your money all month long. Don't wait. These deals won't last. Visit Kia of Meridian today. Kia Meridian, where great deals drive home with you. Give them a call, area code 601-483-6444. And don't forget, when you buy one, you get to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, more. I bet you he'll hook you up one of these badass camo hats he sent me for Kia of Meridian. Hey, before we go, gut feeling real quick. Gut feeling, Auburn, Florida. Houston, Duke.
I had Houston at the beginning of the tournament. I kind of, for some reason, think Duke. There's something about just I'm fascinated with that game. Gut feeling might be Duke, but boy, Kelvin Sampson's a great coach. You talk about a culture team, they're gonna get after you.
That's good.
But now Cooper Flag's one of those cats. I watch a lot of NBA, and Cooper Flag is maybe the one player in today's college basketball who I think could join an NBA team tomorrow and impact winning.
What about Walter Clayton? No.
Impact winning as a key piece. Guys like Clayton could come in, be part of a rotation.
You think he'd be a good NBA player?
Who?
Clayton?
Yeah, I got a chance. You just never know. Got to see. Guys like that's got to get the right fit. Got to make sure you can expand that jumper. You got to be able to knock the three-pointer down 37% or better. Cooper Flag could step in and impact winning today.
All right, last question for you. Johnny Broome, Walter Clayton, Cooper Flag, Mark Sears, and Braden Smith. That's the point from Purdue.
Okay.
Are the finalists for the John Wooden Award. What would be your order if you had a vote?
Flag, Broome, Clayton, Smith, Sears.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I'd probably be. Who did you have second?
Broome.
Yeah.
And I don't have any. If Broome wins, I have no issue with it at all. I mean, he's.
I think I'm with you though. I think Flag's the best player.
He's had. I mean, if you were voting for most valuable player, it's Janai Broome. Mm-hmm. If you're voting for most outstanding player, it's Cooper Flag.
I agree.
But I have no issue if Broome wins it at all. I mean, he's had a phenomenal career. He's had an incredible season. He did it in the toughest league in the country. with all the expectations. I also have no problem whatsoever if Flagg does it. He is a special basketball player who can literally do everything.
And then on the way out the door, Taylor hit me back. He's confirmed. Taylor Moore is going to join us on Monday. I'm going to send you this in just a second. Don't want to forget.
Okay.
Taylor Moore, PGA golfer, is on the shelf right now. I'll let him talk about it. He's on the shelf, so he's not going to be able to play next week at Augusta. He finished T20th at Augusta last week, so he's going to come on and talk the Masters next Monday. Monday show. He'll come talk the Masters and a little hoops. He's a big hoops fan, so he'll probably give me shit for jinxing the. He was texting me during the Arkansas game, Arkansas Texas Tech game.
Yep.
I was like, dude, they're gonna win this game. They're kicking their ass at halftime, and yeah, he's probably mad at me for jinxing. He's big. He played at Arkansas, but he lives in Dallas. So.
Oh, that's right. Taylor's an Arkansas guy.
Yeah, he played at
Arkansas. There's another reason. See,
hey,
there you go.
There you go. But he's gonna he'll join us Monday and talk some Augusta and talk Masters and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're one show next week, just Monday next week, because we've got each of us have stuff.
I got stuff at the end of the week.
We will both be out of town next Thursday.
I'll be out of town Thursday through Sunday.
Yep.
All right.
Appreciate everybody for being in the stream. Appreciate all of you. Shaker Jack, thank you for the super chat. I have no idea what that means, and so I'm.
Oh, so that is a football term.
Okay.
He's got some association to a school, and I can't figure out who he is, but he knows too much.
Okay. Nub right boa?
Rub, right? Or is that nub?
It says nub.
So nub is
But it first said rub, and I didn't know whether it was the Auburn coaching staff. I just didn't know what was going on.
You're probably that is a freeze term. That is a freeze.
I bet it is.
No, that is a freeze. That's a formation and a play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I know a lot about it because I've had to signal it in.
As Grind says, be blessed, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.